Hey guys, welcome to another video on Bharat and Germany. My name is Bharat, and in this video, we have another guest with us who is Mrinalini, and she's studying biomedical. This is another interesting field because most of the people think that when you come to Germany, you just come for mechanical engineering, which is not entirely true. And Mrinalini is going to share her experience with us today. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking up the call. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we jump into the questions.
As you know, my name is Mrinalini. I moved to Germany 2 years ago to pursue my master's in biomedical sciences. Before I moved to Germany, I did my bachelor's for 3 years, which was a triple majors in chemistry, zoology, and microbiology. Post which I worked as a research intern at ICER Mohali for about 4 months. And then I applied to Germany, and now I'm here.
So this 3-year bachelor's, like that was a BSc degree.
Yes, it was a BSc degree.
So like, were you like seeing these kind of misconceptions at that time too, that like you cannot come to Germany with a 3-year bachelor's or something?
Yes, and honestly, I never planned to move abroad for my master's. I planned to stay in India, but this just came my way, and I was really skeptical and I was scared before applying because this is what everyone told me, that you have to have a 4-year bachelor's or you have to have education worth 16 years or something like that. And that's the reason actually why I took up the research position at ICER. But I don't think that's necessary because I have a lot of colleagues who have come directly after a 3 years bachelor. So it is a misconception. You need to just check out the requirements. If you have those courses in your 3 years, then you're good to go.
Now, about your experience so far in Germany. So you told me you came 2 years back. So I think like at that time, times were maybe like still normal. You maybe
Yes.
experienced a normal Christmas, did you?
Yes, I did, luckily.
That's very nice, because I think like that's the one part of Germany that I really, really miss. I mean, like going out in the Christmas markets and like just kind of having a nice time. That's something nice. But so like you came in October 2019.
I moved end of September,
Mm-hmm.
and our course began in October.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, we also got to experience on-campus lectures, and I got to meet my colleagues at least.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't know if this batch is if they're even meeting their classmates, but
It's very difficult right now. Like I'm talking to some students and they're like telling me over and over again that it's just like we don't know the other person. Like we don't feel like we're in a class. It's just like we have a bunch of students joining in the Zoom call or something, but otherwise like this feeling of like, being face to face, I think that's so important. Like, so I know like I have a business and I have a few employees working under me, and like all of the work is like, remote and everything. But I just like really miss the time when like you could get the team together, see people face to face, work with them together on projects. And the same like in university. I really love the time in university when we were working on group projects, because it's 4 or 5 people sitting together working on a problem. And sometimes you go out to eat dinner, like during your study session or something, then you start talking about something and then you get back to work. And um, also I remember from my this exam times, so during the exam times we used to have 1 or 2 days where the team would like kind of meet, and we would like kind of share with each other our notes and quickly like teach each other, okay, like this is in this subject, this is in this subject or like module. And we would like kind of prepare like that. But I feel like right now it's just like it's not the same. Like Zoom is not the same, like physical feeling, the physical presence of somebody else.
Absolutely. And even on Zoom, half of them have their cameras off. You've never seen their face. You don't know who it is. And yeah, unfortunately, it's just tough to connect that way on Zoom. But luckily for us, at least I got 4 months of meeting my classmates
Yeah.
and interacting with them. You're absolutely right. Zoom is, and I have experienced both the offline as well as the online. And even just the classes itself, I think it's much easier and much more fun to follow when you are in front of the lecturer and you have the presentation going on and you're very active during the class. I feel like during Zoom, half of the time people are just doing their own thing. Yeah, but it's it's still nice, I think, to move to another country and experience
Of
other
course.
things other than your lectures. So luckily that's not yet shut. Like in India, everything's still shut.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing that I like about like Germany so far is so like I come from a small city in India called Kurukshetra, and it's a small city but still has like around 2 lakh people. So you would never find a street where there wouldn't be a person around. And in Germany, if you're in smaller towns, like, or like even in bigger towns or cities, you can go towards these like green parks, you have forests around, you can go and like, take a nice little walk. So like this kind of like isolation or like kind of like freedom that you get of like being on your own, this is something which is definitely nice.
And also the student card, which allows you to travel. And I live in Bonn, and NRW, I think, is one of the prettiest states, I feel. I haven't been to too many states, but it just at a distance. Bonn itself is a very small city, but a very lively city. And if you want complete quiet, you can go to the Eiffel, which is 1 hour on this side. And if you want to experience the proper city life, you have Cologne, which is again another 30 minutes on this side. So I think that way it's really great.
And also I think like you guys in NRW have this like what state ticket, right? You don't have a city ticket or something.
Exactly, yeah.
That's so much better.
And during summertime, we're allowed to take one more person with us. So everybody else who has a friend who's not a student in NRW just tags along.
Man, that's so nice.
Everything, yeah.
That's so cool. Like in Hamburg, we just used to have the ticket of Hamburg. I think like we were very jealous because the people who were studying in Bremen, they can come to Hamburg on their semester ticket without any kind of problems whatsoever. But who are like living in Hamburg, we can never take the regional or something to go to Bremen. So, I mean, this is also interesting thing that I found that like essentially every single state has their own laws. Some of them will give you the semester ticket for just that part of the city or like, state or something. And it really varies from region to region.
That's true. Also, NRW, the tickets, if not during summer break over the weekend, I can take a friend along with me for free. But I don't think that's the case because my friend used to live in Berlin and I was under the impression that this is the rule all over the country. But when I went there, I had to pay for my tickets. So
yeah. Massive disappointment.
It was really disappointing, but it's still have to see it.
Going to the capital and having to pay.
Yeah.
Yes. So Mrinalini, so far, what is the experience of like, studying your particular program? Because like, again, this could be very interesting. Like, tell me some details, university program, curriculum structure or something.
I've always been interested. I always wanted to be a doctor, and then I switched to this space. Basically, my interest is always lying in trying to find out what causes a disease or what is the reason behind our body reacting in a certain way. And that's the reason I chose this field that I am in currently. And before moving to Germany, I was still confused whether I want to go into the industrial track or I want to go into research completely. That's the reason I chose my course, where I'm doing it from a University of Applied Sciences, which has equal amount of practical work as well as theoretical work. Unlike my friends who are doing it from a university which is completely research oriented. So my university gives us an opportunity to mix and match courses. So I can pick electives which are focused on the industrial track as well as the research track, so that I get experience of both of them, as well as working in the lab as such, so I can make concrete decisions. So I really like my course because it is not forcing you into one particular direction. You still have your options open. Also, as compared to India, the education system is completely different. You're on your own. You have to, whether you want to study or not is up to you. No one judges you based on your marks. No one judges you based on what background you're coming from, as long as you're able to deliver what they're expecting of you. So I think that way my course is really interesting, because I think this is the case with the applied sciences universities, which gives you equal amount of practical as well as theoretical knowledge. So my course is pretty, I'm satisfied with what I've chosen, because now I'm pretty clear what I want to do in my life further. Mm-hmm. And recently the professors are really, really sweet. My university unfortunately was affected by the floods that happened. But they have been very, very supportive. I began my thesis, and halfway through my work, the university was flooded, the electricity was out. But my professors were really sweet and very understanding, and they helped kind of recover my work. And they're very thinking about ways on, how I can fix it or where I can continue making ties with other universities. So that way it's very nice.
Let's say anybody else who's planning to come to Germany and study your program, what kind of like massive differences that you see, like when you were doing your BSc degree in India and when you started studying here, like, in the structure or the way things are taught, like, just some insights there so that the people know already and they can manage their expectations to kind of like, understand how to perform better.
I think mainly biggest difference is the professors are not sitting on your head that you have to study, you have to clear the exam. You're pretty much on your own, and you need to be careful that you don't take that too lightly, because like in Germany, if I'm not prepared for an exam, I can just take it the next semester, and I have 3 attempts to take it in my university. That can also be you need to be prepared that you are on your own, so there's no pressure, which can go both ways. So you need to make sure that you're studying on your own. You need to know what you are doing. You're on your own. So that is a big difference. But other than that, I think how in India they give you notes that this is what you have to study, this is the portion, and this is the syllabus, and this is what the exam is going to consist of. That's not what happens here. They will just give you topics, and during the lectures they would briefly explain whatever they think is important about the subject. But other than that, you have to go home and you need to borrow books from the library, you need to do your research, and you need to study on your own, because you need to have a complete knowledge about the topic rather than just the particular things, how it's taught in India. So I think before moving to Germany, you really need to work on your self study and reading up, other than over and above what the lecturers teach you, in the lectures.
So how far are you with your German?
Before I moved to Germany, I did it took up, I think, until A1, and then when I moved here, I did A2 as well. But then I started working at KFC, and I realized that I learned much more German when I was actually speaking rather than these lectures. So I just quit those classes, and I live with 3 Germans. So whenever I get a chance, I just speak to them in German. So I think when I moved to Germany, I did not understand anything, even though I had done A1. But now I can speak to, if I need to find my way somewhere, I can ask at the train station, if I want to know whether the train is on time or not, or if at the store I'm looking for something, or most importantly, when I'm ordering food, I can order it completely in German. So I think
That got even important during these COVID times.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said like, actually kind of this kind of one-on-one interaction like really helps. I think that makes sense. For me, I had no choice. I tell you, Mrinalini, when I was doing my bachelor's, I had to like get to B2 so I could like apply to my university. So I was in my last semester of bachelor's. I was in a small city. It's called Sonipat near New Delhi. And I couldn't go from my city to New Delhi to take language classes or something. It was not possible. So I got some books, got YouTube, and was able to kind of like learn from that. But I think it's important that you think about like putting active effort inside, because I know, of course, like most of the times I come across like other, let's say, Turkish people who were like, living in Germany since 10 years and they still don't speak any German at all, because you feel like you would kind of absorb it because it's like spoken all around you, but like you actually have to like, pay attention.
Yes, absolutely. And I think also normally when we come, we try to switch to English wherever possible. And the first question we ask is, do you speak English? I think the best way to learn is if you stop asking that question and actually try to ask yourself the question in German and try to, understand what they're saying. Because a lot of people do speak English here, and given a choice, they would also switch to English because they just want to get their work done. But I think for people who really want to learn and want to stay here, which it is essential to know German, I think best would be to completely avoid the question that do you know how to speak English? Just speak to them in German, and that's the best way.
You're nearing the end of your master's or something, or like,
Yes,
so master thesis?
yes, I'm doing my master thesis right now.
Okay, and around when is it finishing?
I should have finished by December, but I'm hoping that I will be done by February.
Yeah, still not so bad. And when did you register that?
I haven't registered it yet. I was supposed to register it, but because of the floods, they have allowed us to
Right.
push it for another couple of months.
Okay.
So once we register it, we have around 5 months to
Mm.
submit it. And coming from the biomedical science background, we never really know how long our research is going to take, and it may take longer. We may not have enough results to actually write a thesis on. So usually the supervisors suggest that you start your work, and then when you have enough results to write your thesis, you register it, and then you use the 5 months to write and kind of
Mm.
do all of that, because 5 months is the maximum. You can also submit it in 3 months if you are done with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So
I remember the same thing. So I also like started in December or something, like kind of figuring out the research question, because that's the most complicated stuff. You go back and forth with your professor because sometimes it's like the research question is too broad, sometimes it's too narrow, you will not get the literature for it. And like then what I discussed with my supervisor was that I was like already working on the thesis on the side. I didn't register it. I registered it, I think like in May or something, because our idea was okay, like, you can still submit it in 3 months. So that's not a problem. And like maximum you can submit in like, 5 or 6 months. It's completely fine. So it took a bit longer. Like I think I took from May till October, so around 5 months. Yeah. Like I submitted my thesis, and then my defense happened actually like almost 6 weeks later. So in December. So do you guys also have to do a defense or?
we do have to do it, but I think it happens. I don't think it takes 6 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks or something after.
Mhm.
And I think that mainly depends on the supervisor and
Yeah.
how fast or how much time they have to actually
Yeah.
correct your thesis and be done with it. I think it depends mostly on them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the only tip I can give about the master thesis, like be really on your supervisor's ass, because otherwise they just say, okay, like Germans love to take holidays. Like right
I,
now we are trying to like approach different kind of like, other businesses, and it's like we are on holiday for 2 weeks. You're on holiday for like 3 weeks. I'm like,
yes, and they will, if they're on a holiday, they will just not respond.
yeah,
But the good thing is that they also don't disturb you if you tell them you're on a holiday. So
yes.
but they take vacations way too often. I feel like Indians are
Yeah.
hard working for them.
Yeah, it's better to get used to this like very soon. So for me, like that kind of like played a problem, because like my supervisor was on a lot of like vacations and stuff. And then towards then it was like, okay, like you did not show me these part of the thesis, and then like there were just like some new things, and yeah, it was a bit different, could have run better. So that's just like one tip that I can give you, like with the master thesis. Of course, it's the last step of your masters, so kind of like plan it a bit better.
Yeah, but I will definitely take that tip. Sit on my supervisor's head that I
Yes.
have to leave by March, so you have to
Yes,
tell me.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think a last question, Minalini, and that is, many Indian parents also feel like, will their daughters be safe in Germany or something? Is it safe for women and things like that? So, like, what is your experience so far?
I mean, I think it is definitely much more safer than India. And I moved to Germany from a place like New Delhi, which is
Yeah.
known for how
No.
unsafe it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think you need to be sensible where you go. There are places in Bonn which are not safe. I
Mm.
wouldn't want to go there at night, not because of anything else. There are a lot of course, the Hauptbahnhof of the central station area, you will find drunkards
Yeah. Yeah.
sitting there. You will find people who will try and speak to you, whatever, but you need to be sensible enough. They will just speak to you, ask you for money or ask you for a cigarette or beer or whatever. They won't misbehave. This is the difference that I have
Mm.
noticed. But you need to be sensible and not go into areas alone. I would
Mm.
suggest that just to be safe, just to be careful. But as compared to India, I think it is much, much, much more safer. I have come back from places alone at 2:30 in the night, using the tram, bus, whatever. There are buses throughout the night. There are people, someone or the other will always be there. So that way I think it's safe. There is nothing to worry about.
That sounds good. And I think this is also a good tip, that kind of like take a look around the city, because there are always regions which are nice and regions which are not so nice. The same was in Hamburg, same in Berlin, like so many other cities that I visited. So I think keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, I think it's like pretty safe. Finally, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to me about this topic.
Yes,
And
of course.
I will tell everybody else. So guys, if you really like this video, share it with your friends. I'm going to talk to Mrinalini now and ask her if she would be interested in writing a blog too on the website, so that you also have some kind of link which you can share around. And if you have any kind of questions whatsoever, write it down in the comments, and then I'll take a look at them and maybe we can answer them together. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.